Hey, so do you remember how in 2015, Andres Lubitz, who was the co-pilot of a German-wing aircraft, calmly piloted the aircraft straight into a mountain in the Alps and crashed it, killing all 150 people on board. And interestingly enough, at the time, I was working in aviation. Actually, my actual degree is aircraft maintenance engineering, although at the moment I'm working in shipbuilding. But at the time, I was working in aviation, so that was obviously of great interest. And I had written an article about it. But obviously the interesting thing about it, apart from the fact that it was completely unbelievable that somebody could do that, it was the fact that the pilot, Andres, was on a cocktail of psychiatric drugs. Now, pilots are not meant to be on drugs when they're piloting, but obviously he hadn't declared that. So following on the various posts I've done about the new documentary, Prescription for Violence, Psychiatry's Deadly Side Effects, you can imagine how important it is when you're flying. Well, certainly for me when I'm flying, because I know how the industry works. You know, you want to make sure your pilots or anybody who works in such environments are definitely not on antidepressants. This is really vital. And to be fair, there are strict rules. Well, when I was in industry, I'm sure it hasn't changed because it's only been a few years, where pilots, cannot be on such medication. So I don't know if it's changed, but I doubt it has changed. Let's hope it hasn't changed. But I was going to read you something here, a little interesting blurb from this booklet that you can download. And I've got the link on the description, and I really recommend that you watch this documentary. I'm just doing a couple more videos on that topic, and I think I've kind of covered, the whole topic of psychiatry destroying education, that's part of my channel. But on this documentary, I've done a couple more videos, so, to just encourage people to go and watch the documentary and really, really get educated on what's happening with the drugging of children and the drugging of adults. So here you go. The title here is really good. Hard to believe something so small can create such mayhem. Tragically, people set off by psychiatric drugs have been known to target entire groups, which is why we need to do something about it. The pilot of a Germanwings flight from Barcelona to Dusseldorf was on a cocktail of psychiatric drugs when he intentionally crashed his plane into the Alps, killing all 150 passengers and crew on board. And by the way, the documentary does take up that subject. Through it all, the drugged pilot's breathing stayed even all the way down to the point of impact. So they could get that from the black box recording. You can imagine that if somebody was going to crash, you're about to crash, your breathing wouldn't be perfectly calm, like if nothing was happening. Yeah, it just wouldn't be. But in this case, it was. Some people under the influence of mind-altering psychiatric drugs are wreaking carnage in public places such as shopping malls, churches, movie theatres, concert venues, and university campuses. Alarmingly, the pace of mass murders is accelerating. Of the 20 most deadly mass shootings in modern history, 16 have occurred in the past 2 decades. And the shooters were on psychiatric medication. And the documentary covers that. In 2020 alone, the number of such killings went up 46%. And in the United States, in the year 2023, there was an average of 2 mass shootings a day. I mean, that's just unbelievable, eh? So here you go. Watch that documentary. Get, educated on what's happening. So this is a vital sort of aspect to solving this dumbing down of society.